Just went down with Bryson DeChambeau has the golf world on notice, because after a dominant year, Bryson revealed his new plan, a plan to destroy his biggest rivals, Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy. He wants to be number one, and he's not being quiet about it, making a bold declaration of war that has everyone talking. If you love the untold stories and drama in golf, make sure you subscribe. This is Golf Mode TV, and we've got the inside scoop every week. Bryson is starting a new speed training program with an insane goal of averaging 195 miles per hour on his swing, and he's coming for the top spot, letting everyone know that he's not just playing to win, he's playing to dominate. This all came out in a recent interview where Bryson, feeling confident after winning his second major at the US Open in 2024, made it clear that he's not satisfied and wants more. He wants to be the undisputed best in the world, and he sees a clear path to get there, stating, "It's going to be further next year. I am just starting to speed train. My goal is to be average 195 miles per hour." That number is crazy, considering most tour players are in the 170 seconds, and while Bryson is already one of the fastest, 195 is another level entirely. He believes that this incredible speed, combined with an improved short game, will make him unbeatable, and he's putting Rory and Scottie on notice, letting them know he's not just coming for them, he's coming to destroy them. The golf world was shocked, because this wasn't just confidence, this was a declaration of war, and Bryson doesn't make empty threats. To understand why this is such a big deal, you need to know Bryson, who has always been different, the scientist of the tour, the guy who uses single-length irons and bulked up to hit bombs. He's always pushing the limits, and it's worked, earning him 2 majors, PGA Tour wins, and a star role on the LIV Golf Tour, but he's also a polarizing figure. Some people love his innovative approach, seeing him as a genius, while others think he's arrogant and disrespecting the game, and this latest announcement just adds fuel to the fire. He's not just saying he wants to be number one, he's calling out the top 2 players in the world by name: Scottie Scheffler, the current world number 1 and master of consistency, and Rory McIlroy, the fan favorite who just won his 7th race to Dubai. Bryson is picking a fight with the kings of the sport in a bold move that is very much his style. Let's talk about his journey, because Bryson didn't start out as the biggest hitter on tour, as he was initially known for his analytical approach, the physics major, who calculated everything. But he wasn't winning majors, so he made a change, bulking up by gaining 40 pounds of muscle and starting to swing harder, way harder, a strategy that worked when he won the US Open at Winged Foot in 2020, destroying the field by hitting drives 50 yards past everyone else. It was a spectacle that raised questions about whether this was good for the game and if he was making courses obsolete. But Bryson didn't care. He kept pushing, he kept getting stronger, and now he's planning to take it even further. 195 miles per hour. Swing speed isn't just fast, it's superhuman. And if he pulls it off, it could change golf forever. And the reactions were immediate, with golf fans going crazy on social media, as Bryson supporters loved it, saying he's finally backing up his talk and bringing excitement to the game, and they can't wait to see him swing at 195 miles per hour. But the haters came out in full force, calling him delusional and all talk, saying his focus on speed will ruin his game, and pointing to his past struggles when his aggressive approach has backfired. Even pro players weighed in, with some impressed by his ambition, while others were skeptical, knowing how hard it is to be consistent at that speed, a high-risk, high-reward strategy that Bryson is going all in on. Rory and Scottie haven't responded directly, probably just focusing on their own games, but you know they heard him, and the challenge has been made. This is where the story gets really interesting, because this isn't just about swing speed, this is about the future of golf, as Bryson represents a new way of thinking, a data-driven, athletic approach where he's trying to turn golf into a science, a power sport. Rory and Scottie represent a more traditional approach of feel, finesse, and course management, creating a clash of philosophies where Bryson is forcing the issue, saying his way is better and that his way will win. If he pulls this off, if he actually starts averaging 195 miles per hour and dominates the sport, it could change golf forever, forcing a whole new generation of players to follow his lead and focus on speed and power above all else. But if he fails, if his body breaks down or his short game suffers, he'll be a cautionary tale, the guy who flew too close to the sun, making the stakes incredibly high for him and for the sport. Let's break down what 195 miles per hour actually means, because it's hard to comprehend, with the average PGA Tour player swinging around 115 miles per hour and the longest hitters in the 125 to 130 miles per hour range. Bryson is already around 130 to 135 miles per hour, so 195 miles per hour is not even close to normal. It's long drive competition territory, where guys swing that fast but aren't playing on tour, hitting fairways, or making putts. Bryson is trying to combine long drive power with tour-level precision, something that has never been done before, and for good reason, as it's incredibly difficult because the faster you swing, the harder it is to control, and the margin for error shrinks. 1 degree off, and you're in the trees. So Bryson is betting that he can train his body and his swing to handle that speed and still hit fairways and make birdies. A massive gamble, but if anyone can do it, it's Bryson. So what happens now? The golf world waits to see the new Bryson in 2026 to see if he will really be swinging at 195 miles per hour, and if he is, what it will look like. Will it be wild and out of control, or will it be a thing of beauty? A perfect combination of power and precision. The LIV Golf season starts in March, and that will be our first look. With all eyes on him, every swing analyzed, and every result scrutinized. The pressure will be immense, but that's what Bryson seems to thrive on, as he's created this narrative and put the target on his own back, and now he has to deliver. The battle for number 1 in 2026 is already on, and it's going to be epic. Bryson versus Scotty, Bryson versus Rory, power versus finesse, science versus art. The storyline we didn't know we needed. And here's the thing about Bryson. He's not afraid to fail, having tried crazy things before that have sometimes worked and sometimes haven't, but he always learns and adapts, which is what makes him dangerous. He's not stuck in his ways. He's willing to experiment and push boundaries. And that's why this plan might actually work, because he's not just saying it, he's doing the work. Hiring trainers, studying biomechanics, and putting in the hours. This isn't just talk, it's a calculated plan, and Bryson is all in, risking his body, his career, and his legacy, all for a chance to be number 1, a level of commitment and obsession that separates the greats from the good. Let's talk about the rivalry with Scotty, because that's going to be huge, as Scotty Scheffler is the best player in the world right now. Dominant, consistent, clutch, and a multiple major winner. Everything you want in a number 1 player. But he's not flashy or controversial, he just goes out and beats you, while Bryson is the opposite, flashy, controversial, and loud, and he wants to take Scotty down. It's a classic clash, the quiet assassin versus the loud challenger, and it's going to be must-watch TV, with every time they play together being electric, dividing the fans into Team Scotty and Team Bryson, and the golf world will be watching. And then there's Rory. And the relationship between Bryson and Rory is complicated, as they've had their moments and competed against each other for years, with respect but also tension. Rory represents the old guard, the traditional path, while Bryson represents the new wave, the disruptor, and now Bryson is coming for him, saying he's going to be better and that he's going to beat him, which is personal. And Rory knows it. He's not going to back down, he's going to fight, and that's what makes this so exciting.
Body won't allow. That story felt settled. Comfortable, predictable. And that's exactly why what's happening now feels so unsettling. Because recent reports haven't been asking if Tiger will disappear, they've been asking what comes next. That's a subtle but important shift. Analysts and insiders aren't framing him as a ceremonial figure anymore. They're talking about timelines, about preparation windows, about whether selective competition could still be realistic. The language has changed from reflective to speculative. And when the tone around Tiger shifts like that, it usually means the internal reality has already changed. The expectations not long ago were low by design. Fans were told to be grateful for whatever they got, a major appearance here, a special event there, maybe a farewell moment everyone could agree on. Tiger is a symbol, not a threat. That narrative protected everyone, from the tour to Tiger himself. But it also quietly closed the door on ambition. And now, that door doesn't look nearly as shut as it once did. That's where the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. What people expected was a slow fade into legend. What Tiger is signaling now feels like something else entirely. Measured, controlled, but forward-looking. Not chasing the past, but refusing to be defined by it. And when you line that up with a PGA Tour searching for direction, one question starts to loom larger than all the rest. What happens if Tiger isn't done shaping the future yet? It started quietly, as these things usually do, not with a press conference or a dramatic announcement, but with sightings and subtle confirmations. Tiger Woods swinging a club again, not symbolically, not cautiously, but with intent. After a long absence defined by injury setbacks and guarded optimism, footage and reports began to surface showing real progress. Balance looked steadier. Speed looked closer to vintage than expected. For a player whose health updates are usually wrapped in caution, this felt different. And that difference raised eyebrows. Then came the equipment talk, and that's where things really escalated. Tiger has never been someone who speaks casually about distance or ball speed, especially not at this stage of his career. Yet suddenly there were claims, carefully worded but unmistakable, about gains. About efficiency, about the body responding better than anticipated. That's not nostalgia speaking, that's data-driven confidence. And for someone supposedly winding down, those are not the metrics you focus on unless you're measuring yourself against competition. Behind the scenes, the whispers grew louder. Insiders began floating timelines that stretched beyond a single season. Not promises, but possibilities. Not guarantees, but scenarios. Competitive golf, selective schedules, preparation cycles that only make sense if the goal is to actually contend, not just participate. The most telling part wasn't what was said publicly, it was how seriously these predictions were being treated by people who know how Tiger operates. This wasn't fan fiction, it was informed speculation, and that's why these moments can't be dismissed as isolated events. A swing video here, a distance claim there, a carefully placed comment about readiness. On their own, they're easy to brush aside. Together they form a pattern, a direction. This doesn't look like a retired legend enjoying the game on his own terms. It looks like someone methodically testing limits, gathering information, and seeing how far the door is still open. Because